go up to Xavier and Kofi and Biggie and say, okay, what I said 2 weeks ago, completely disregard. I've seen what you guys are doing, and it's magic. Don't change a thing. You guys be you. You guys are right. I was wrong. So that's a true thing. Sometimes guys initiate on things, you look at it and go, what the hell are they doing? And after a while, it kicks in and kicks off, and it's been good for New Day, which is good for tag team divisions. There's a lot of new tag teams coming up now. My biggest problem that I have with the tag team division, and this is just a personal thing, but I'm a fan of the old tag teams, Marty Jannetty, Shawn Michaels. My personal favorite tag team of all time was New Age Outlaws, Billy Gunn and Road Dogg. The thing is with tag teams, the psychology I think is a little off sometimes. Because we're so, and the referee is so important now and has so much validity and can't do anything behind the ref's back because it puts heat on the referee. Yes, I understand that it is good to err that way, because if the referee loses control, then what's the sense of having respect in anything? I get it, I understand it. But what I miss is the babyface on the apron getting the hot tag and making a comeback on both heels. You just miss it. I mean, nowadays, you got to bump the heel off the apron, or he's going to stand there and watch his partner get beat. It's not as exciting. I mean, and we got some great athletic teams that I would love to see the reins loosen up a little bit in the tag team division. So when a babyface that you're rooting for finally gets the hot tag, he blows a comeback and kicks the crap out of both heels, whether it's clothesline, backdrop, hip toss, whatever it is, it makes it exciting and it tells a story without a dip in the finish. I think a lot of times we do now is every match has a dip in the finish. Dip in the finish works when you're somebody over like Triple H, Undertaker, John Cena, Shawn Michaels. When they put dips in finishes, it's because you guys as fans have used to them seeing making a comeback a certain way. When that comeback is stopped, you go, oh, because you didn't see what you expected. When they get it back, because they were able to resurge and get the comeback back, you guys are happy because you saw what you wanted. When you're a new team and you put a dip in a finish, it just looks like you can't get the job done. Guys have to take their time and build that emotional relationship with you all, so you guys know that they're going to kick out, you know that they're going to make a comeback and go home. When you develop that symbiotic relationship with you, the fan, and them as the newer talent, when that happens, then you can start screwing around and putting dips and doing stuff like that. I think it's important for the newer teams, if they're a babyface tag team, make a comeback and go home. Don't put a dip. That's my theory. Long-winded, sorry. I hope it helped.
How you doing? I just wanted to ask, how did you like working with Floyd Mayweather?
Floyd Mayweather, awesome, incredible. I mean, I can tell you right now, Floyd was completely nothing like the character you see on TV. He's very humble, very hard-working kid. He's very smart. He understands the art of promotion, understands the part of making people emotionally involved in something that's going on in his fights. You know, he understands the promotion business. And you know, he's a really smart businessman. You know, he showed up for everything he had to do with us. The media tour, he had a positive can-do attitude with that. I got nothing but good things to say about him. It was a good job. Plus, he's fast too. Yes, ma'am.
Since Money in the Bank is tomorrow, who are you rooting for, John Cena or AJ Styles?
Okay, here's the thing. As a talent, how do I justify that? Now, you as a fan, you guys like AJ Styles. He's new, he's a veteran, he's fought hard in the indie circuit. It's kind of like the story of the underdog, right? So you want to root for that guy. You look at John Cena, 10 years, on top, you know, might have the feeling that everything's been handed to him. I'll give you a little inside trick. Nothing's been handed to John Cena. John Cena has stayed where he is because he has outworked and out-earned everybody around him. Now, if I'm working on the card, I want John Cena's ass in the main event because I know I'm going to make more money. That's just, whether you like the you can't see me stuff, whether you like his salute when he runs down the ramp, the guy is solid and he produces and he does what he's supposed to do as a champion. Everybody that he works with, he ends up getting over and he makes everybody on the card money. So I get it. There's a changing of the guard. You want somebody new. So in the spirit of the underdog, sure, you wish for AJ Styles to do well. And I would like to see AJ, who is an incredible gentleman backstage, an incredible technical worker, a guy that really understands his character, his relationship. I would love to see him to get that opportunity. I think that opportunity would do him a lot more than it would do John. But at the same time, for AJ Styles to get that opportunity over John, he's going to have to earn it. That's just the way it is. You don't get wins over a guy that's done as much for our industry, as much as the guys in the locker room, as much for WWE as John Cena has. You don't get a win over John Cena easily. So if AJ does get a win over John Cena, it's an incredible opportunity for AJ. If he doesn't mean that AJ's dead. It means AJ will still get more opportunities. He just isn't quite where they feel confident enough in him yet. But I think AJ will be fine. He's a good dude. He's got good grit. He's dug from underneath. He's a true underdog, so you got to root for the underdog. Yo.
Hey, okay, you can clap. My question is, did you ever feel your feud with Boss Man went way too far?
I think the part where I dove on the casket was coming in. You know, it's funny, that was my first really big angle, and that idea actually came about with Terry Taylor. You know Terry Taylor, the Red Rooster, was a producer in WWE, and I was just new in the WWE. And Terry came to me and says, look, we need to come up with a way that we can make the fans understand and relate to you and humanize you more. You know, he says, is there anything that you would emotionally react to? And at the time, I was like, yeah, I don't know, I've been the giant, got you doing it. So, I mean, it was hard for me as a young athlete and a young character trying to figure, what can I do that would open up a different side of my character to you, the audience? So it came to the idea about my dad. My dad had died in '92, and it was a really hard thing for me. I ended up quitting school and doing a bunch of other things and quit playing basketball, and was a lost young man for about a year. So I remember how that impacted my life. So I thought, well, yeah, I should be able to draw some emotion from this. So we suggested the idea of Boss Man, who was always, Ray was one of the most amazing individuals you've ever met in the ring and out of the ring. I remember one time I was supposed to take a bump in WCW, I think. Maybe it was up here. I think it was up here. He came off the apron, I was supposed to take a bump. Believe it or not, I wasn't used to falling down back then. I didn't fall down a lot. So he comes off the apron with a cross body, and I caught him. But I was supposed to fall to my back. But I caught him. And he goes, now boy. I pressed him over my head and threw him over the top rope back to the ring. He goes, golly! He was an amazing guy, and the angle got him a lot of really incredibly intense heat because people got very upset about that. The promos where he called my fake mom a dirty name and I was a bastard. And, it was really great for that time because we were still able to do a lot of really crazy things with our characters and pull it off. And did it go a little bit far? Yeah, I think the whole showing up and driving off with a casket was too much. I think we had to do that to show some levity in the angle so that people could realize we were still having fun. Yes, sir.
So with the brand split coming, who besides yourself do you want to see have an opportunity?
Oh, I'm not worried about myself having an opportunity. I will make whatever opportunity I'm given and whatever role I'm put in. I think right now I'm just doing live events and working on the weekends, and I'm fine with that. You know, Kane and I tag. I'm helping Big Braun Strowman, and he's getting better. Eric Rowan is really getting a lot better in the ring. I hope he gets. I would like to see Eric Rowan get an opportunity in the singles. I don't think. When I look at our product from the big guy standard, there's Corbin, I think, is an amazing big guy. I don't think you guys realize how good that kid is yet. He's still got ways to go as far as building his character and stuff like that and developing the relationship with you all as fans. But the technical things, the way he works in the ring, you can tell he just moves really nice in the ring. He's really solid at what he does. Eric Rowan has gotten a lot better. I know the big crazy beard and the overalls that look like a big seagull cracked on his back. It's a little crazy and out there, but his in-ring work has gotten really, really, really nice. So I think he's going to get a lot of opportunities. Brahm's coming along. I mean, Brahm's going to be probably your next giant figure down the road for a while. That big menacing force that a lot of baby faces are going to bounce off to or try to overcome. I think he'll step up to the plate pretty good. Big Cass and Enzo, I got a lot of high hopes. They're so amazing and entertaining. Enzo is amazing to work with in the ring. He's like a supercharged wasp with an Uzi. The guy's got so much energy. Big Cass is figuring out a lot of stuff that he wants to do, and those guys are going to be great. I don't want to see those guys split up anytime soon at all. I'd like to see those guys have a nice run as a tag team and grow and become tag team champions someday. There's going to be a lot of opportunity for a lot of guys with that brand split, just mainly in storyline development. Because you're not going to have the same writers for Raw and the same writers for SmackDown, and you get a diluted angle that Raw did 3 weeks ago, but now you're acting like it's brand new on SmackDown. So, and I'm not knocking the writers, because God knows they do the best they can with their job, and they're trying to, facilitate a lot of bosses and make sure they're happy. But I think with a brand split, you got different dedicated writing teams, you're going to see a change in the product, and plus you're going to see a little intercompany competition, because I was around back in the days of the old brand split, and believe me, when it was me and Cena and Brock on SmackDown, we loved kicking the crap out of Triple H and Randy Orton. I think you'll see a lot of that brand competition will start to step up, and I think it'll give you a chance to see a lot more of your favorites and hopefully find some new favorites. Yes, sir.
First, I'd just like to say it's an honor for you to be my first WWE wrestler in person I get to meet for the first time. And
we're not dating.
I wasn't old enough to watch the Attitude Era because I was a kid, so yeah.
Thanks, I feel old. You're doing great so far.
But I'm backlogging and I just watched WrestleMania X7, which I think is one of the best WrestleManias your company has ever done. I especially liked your hardcore championship title match with Kane and Raven. And I'm wondering...
Is that the one where Kane almost ran over Raven with a golf cart?
Yeah. and Raven
it was almost a homicide that day.
And one of the matches, you got on the golf cart and Raven tried to drive away, but you were on the golf cart, and you guys almost took out a power line that almost took out the entire stadium's power outlet. So it's but back to my question.
I remember, I think I got fined somewhere in there later.
Yeah.
Something.
But when you're doing a match like that for the hardcore title, where it goes anywhere, goes in the bag, you don't have the ring as a familiar environment.
Right.
How do you guys spot for that, where it could get a little chaotic?
You can try to get a general path of, we need to start here, we need to end up here, and back then it was a lot different. One of the hardcore matches I had with Mick Foley, who was just insane. I would do stuff with Mick Foley that I would just really oh wow, I'm a really bad person. It would keep me up at night. I think one time Mick had me in a sleeper hold, and I grabbed his legs and took a bump with him on my back. And that was Mick's idea, and Mick is tougher than a bag of hammers, and I heard both his ribs break when they broke. Oh. And I'm like, see Mick, I told you I was too bad. I was yelling at him for making me do it. One time I think that one of the stadium folding platforms fell on him. And I'm looking at him, and he's doing a good job selling. Hey, wait, he's blue. 400 pounds, and I had to pick it up off of him, and he was like, wow, if you hadn't picked that up, that would have crushed me. I'm like, yeah, I know, you turned blue. That hardcore era was a great way to break out of the norm, but honestly, as exciting as it is for you guys, it sucks for us. The amount of injury, because when you're in the ring, you're in a controlled environment. You take bumps on that, you land on that. The footing is good. Our boots are made to grab the canvas. You start screwing around the back and then spilled sodas and slick concrete. And, believe me, I'm like Bambi on ice. We all know I'm not that graceful. That stuff always gets a little nerve-wracking and different. with this brand split, I know there won't be any more chair shots to the head because, you know, we've all seen the movies and we all know about concussions. I wish they'd told me that when I started. I remember I put my hand up and they yelled at me, "You're gonna break your damn finger putting your hand up." I was like, "Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll break my head, that's better." Business changes, evolves, but hopefully it will still evolve to something that you guys can find passion. Yes, sir.
Speaking of all the talent you've ever worked with, I was looking back through the tapes, and that rivalry that I think was underrated was with you and Eddie Guerrero. What was it like working with such a talent?
Eddie was like no other wrestler I've ever met in this world. I don't know how to describe it to you. He was the kindest, most gracious, God-fearing man you've ever met. And then Latino heat would get mad and you're dealing with a freaking demon. 180-degree change. I remember one time I was on a plane and Eddie got on the plane and I was sitting up front. I said, "Good morning, Eddie." He drops his bag and goes, "What does that mean?" I said, "Good morning." Eddie was great at working with the ring because Eddie always went out of his way to make me the giant. He would get very adamant and very irritated about me selling too much for him or bumping too much for him. He'd get very, very angry. And I've been on many an end of an Eddie Guerrero ass chewing for taking too many bumps for him or for anybody else. He says, "You're gigante, man. You don't fuck out for nobody." Then he'd come over and give me a hug. "I love you." That's Eddie. Eddie had fire and passion and had a way of doing things, and he didn't let anybody alter his course. If Eddie saw a thing that he wanted to do his way, he did it. And you either went along with the program or got run over. Yes, sir.
I know you guys have done it multiple times with ring breaks with like you and Kane or you and Goldberg and others, but the first time that happened with you and Mark Henry, was that intended to happen when all the ring posts
Actually,
came
the
in?
first ring break was Brock and I.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
That's all right.
Anyways.
Brother, I forget a lot of stuff too. It's funny that, what do? Do you break kayfabe or not? What do you do? Break. I've already said it on, I think I said it on Jericho's podcast anyway. Everyone's always asked me about that ring break. They put that out there due to a real thing that happened. I broke a strut in the ring and broke the ring for real.
Jesus.
Which gave them the idea of doing the stunt that we did. So at the time that we did that stunt, none of us had any idea that it was going to be done that well, that it was going to work. It's one of those little magic moments in TV that was able to create. Mark Henry and I was also, I think, pretty close to being the real deal as much as we weigh. It probably, if they hadn't helped it along, it probably would have broke on its own anyway. It was 1,000 pounds coming off the top. I was worried the top turnbuckle was going to snap anyway. You have a lot of, gee, you let people know that some of it's a work, or, you guys are all smart, you guys are all online, you guys know the deal. There's still a lot of old school in me. I don't want to stooge everything off, but I was sad that they tried to recreate it with Mark and I, to be honest with you. I thought the magic that Brock and I had done was magic, and leave that alone and let that lie. And then when we recreated it with Mark, it was like, and I love Mark to death. Mark's my brother from another mother, but he is. That boy can cook. Mark Henry opens a barbecue joint, y'all need to go. He's brought me food from home before, and I have cried. It's been so good. I think that was the only thing that bothered me is because it was done so right with Brock. And it was let that lie. We recreated it with Mark, and it still got, some of you even forgot about the Brock thing, so maybe Vince was smarter than I was. Some people had forgotten that I'd done it with Brock, so, go ahead, sir.
We actually, we're pretty much out of time, but let's try to get to these
I'll
last
my answers,
three.
I'll make them quick.
All right, here we go.
It's an honor to meet you. I just want to ask, what made you want to go into wrestling, or more specifically the WWE?
Well, I started out in WCW. I tried to get a job with WWE. I went to a show in Chicago, and I went to an autograph signing with Razor Ramon, Bam Bam Bigelow, Jeff Jarrett, Luna Vachon. Yeah, some great, Bret Hart was there, a lot of great